Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Today is Michael Jackson's birthday. This is filmed, what's today's date? My God, I gotta look. It's all over the radio, it's Michael Jackson's birthday. Today is August 29th, 2018. This may be post a day later, because it's the evening. So I thought it'd be a great time to tell a Michael Jackson story. I got to meet Michael Jackson, and I did a remix on Speed Demon. So I have a whole other story about Studio 54. I performed there. Madonna was my opening act. It's a whole thing in itself. But after the show, we got off stage. We went into the dressing room, and we were kind of just chilling out. And all of a sudden, this big bodyguard comes up, big black dude, you know, built like a truck driver, and says, "Michael, I'd like to speak to you." Now, I didn't know Michael Jackson was in the audience. There were a bunch of people, a lot of big celebrities, and I'll go through that in my Studio 54 thing. I'm thinking, Michael who? Michael Fesco is the owner, along with Steve Rebell. Not Michael Fesco, what was his name? Anyway, I thought maybe it's one of the owners or something like that. And, you know, they want to speak to me. I said, okay, sure. Takes me downstairs. We go down it's an old theater, Studio 54. We go down the steps behind the thing. We come out around the side, you know, of the stage, and there's the VIP areas on both sides. And, you know, there's a bunch of celebrities, like I said, some very famous names. And I look and I'm like, oh, it's Michael Jackson. That Michael. I was like, okay. And he was hanging out, and at Studio 54 is the kind of place where nobody bothered you, so you could have celebrities, and there weren't people asking for autographs or any of that kind of stuff. And the guy said, wait here, and he took 2 steps up, and Michael Jackson was talking to somebody, and he said, Mr. Jackson, you know, this is Man Parrish. And he turns and he goes, you know, I got up the steps, and I was standing, oh, hi, pleasure to meet you. And I said hello. He says, I like your music, and I like your show. You did a really good job. And I was like, oh, thank you, thank you. We were on the charts at the same time. And he said, I would like you to remix a song of mine. Would you be interested? And I went, oh, wow, yeah. He said, Speed Demon off of the Bad album. Do you know it? The Bad album just came out. You know it? And I said, of course I know it. I have the album, and great album, and love it and all that. He goes, okay, well, it's been a pleasure to meet you, and someone will be in touch with you. And I said, oh, okay. Guess I've been dismissed, very nicely. And then the security guard was like, all right, come on, bodyguard, all right, you know, you've had your minute, let's move away. I'm like, okay. About 2 weeks later, I got a call, maybe a week later, I got a call from the record label, and they said the Michael Jackson remix had come in. And it was from Quincy Jones, had a company called Q West. And, you know, they're going to send the master tape over. We did it at the Hit Factory in New York on 54th Street. Oh my God, there were so many studios back in those days trying to keep track of 54th Street between Broadway and 8th Avenue. Studio 54 was on 54th Street, and right around the corner was the Ed Sullivan Theater where the Beatles played, and then became the David Letterman show where he filmed, you know, taped that every night. And we got the tape, we put it on the 24 track, and we're listening to all the individual tracks. They'd pre-mixed the keyboards, and they pre-mixed some of the other stuff. The background vocals were pre-mixed because I think they didn't want us to change Michael Jackson's sound for his harmonies. And then we had the isolated vocal. So usually in that situation, since it's a copy and it's not digital, sometimes you make another copy. I don't remember whether we made a copy of the copy just in case if we screwed something up, we'd still have the master tape, the master copy to go back to work. So we isolated the vocal, and I kept hearing this pounding noise as Speed Demon. And I thought, what the hell is that? Is that the kick drum? And we couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. This banging noise, bang, 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 bang. I what the F is that? Michael was singing in a wooden vocal booth with glass and probably sound baffles behind him, but the floor was wood. And when Michael sang, he kept time with his foot. And I thought, oh, Jesus, how are we going to get this banging noise out of there and keep his vocals going? Well, for the recording geeks out there, there's something called a noise gate. And what that does is you set a certain threshold. So when Michael's voice comes on, it opens the channel. It's like a little switch. Turns on the audio, and the moment Michael stops singing, it turns the voice off again. But the stomping, since it's not near the mic, it's on the floor, is just below that threshold. So when his voice comes on, the channel opens, and when his voice stops, all that pounding underneath doesn't trigger that little thing to open, that digital, that analog in those days, that little circuit to open, so you don't hear the pounding. So we wound up doing Speed Demon Hip Hop Bebop is the best way to explain it. He wanted street sound, he liked hip hop bebop, apparently from the show that we did. I don't remember if Boogie Down Bronx was done yet. Well, he must have heard Man-Made, Hip Hop Bebop, and Heat Stroke, because at Studio 54 we had to do it. Those are quick shows. They don't want to stop the dance floor. I played at Studio twice, by the way. The second time was for George Lucas for the Return of the Jedi opening premiere party in New York City. That's a pretty big deal, and they asked me to play for George Lucas because I had a cape that used to come up over my head with smoke, and I looked like Darth Vader, and all the smoke came out. You can see pictures. When I do the Studio 54, I'll post some photos. We did Speed Demon / Hip Hop Bebop sound, and we finished it and we sent it in, and Quincy liked it, but they never used it because those sort of things have to be scheduled. You just don't do a record and throw it out, especially when you're with a big label like Sony at the time, and it's probably sitting in his vault. Maybe they'll release it. Hey if anybody's listening there, go search for the Man Parish Speed Demon mix and throw it out. Write some letters. Ask them to put it out. It's probably in his archive. But it was really great to get this breakdown of Michael Jackson's voice. Now I have, in those days, it was before digital, and the very first digital units were, Sony had a thing called the FZ1, and it was this box that would take audio signals and convert it digitally and store it on Betamax tape. That's how old this is. And store it as a digital signal on Betamax tape. Therefore, there wouldn't be any generation loss. And then you could make multiple copies of it or bring it somewhere and have it mastered, and there wouldn't be any deterioration. I may, in my archive somewhere, I tried looking for it once I couldn't find it, have that mix. If I could find it, I don't have the rights to put it out, but I can always approach Sony and ask them if they want to put it out, because that's not my material. But it was great to have that honor. Meet Michael Jackson, him telling me he likes my music, and then getting to do a remix on Speed Demon off the Bad album. It's in their archives. Maybe they'll release it. So it's Michael Jackson's birthday. Wanted to do a short little thing. And happy birthday, Michael. Wish you were around. I'm 60. You'd be 60 today. Madonna, Michael Jackson, me, we're all the same age. And obviously sorely missed. Thank you so much for listening to this. If you didn't subscribe, please do. It helps the channel. Please tell your friends. And this is my stories, my books. If you haven't been watching these, there's a bunch more. I think there's, as of this recording, there's 14 or 15 of them released already. There's 2 seasons. I'm putting 10 in a season. We're on season 2 already. There's a lot of fun stories, crazy stories, and a whole lot more to go. So thank you again. Happy birthday, Michael Jackson. And thank you.